Step into the unknown with the Shadow Frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Welcome, Shadow Chasers, to another chilling episode of The Shadow Frequency, where we tune in to the eerie whispers of the unknown. I'm Juniper, your producer, guiding you through the shadows as we explore the strange and supernatural. Today, our host Matt Wilson dives into a coastal legend that's been stirring the sands of South Carolina for centuries. The Gray Man of Pawleys Island. Is he a guardian spirit, a harbinger of doom, or something else entirely? Settle in, turn down the lights, and let's step into the fog of this mysterious tale. Take it away, Matt.
Hey, Shadow Chasers. Thanks, Juniper, for that haunting intro. Today we're heading to Pawleys Island, a quiet little stretch of coastline in South Carolina with a big reputation for something or someone otherworldly, the Gray Man. If you've never heard of him, buckle up, because this was one of those stories that blurs the line between folklore and reality. Picture this. It's a warm, humid day on Pawleys Island. The ocean's calm, the seagulls are circling, and the locals are going about their business. But then out of nowhere, a storm starts brewing on the horizon, and that's when he appears. A shadowy figure in old-fashioned clothes walking the beach, silent as the grave. They call him the Gray Man, and for over 200 years, folks here swear he's tied to the hurricanes that batter this coast. The legend goes back to the early 1800s. One of the most popular tales says he's the ghost of a young man who died tragically on his way to see his fiancée. Some say he drowned in a shipwreck. Others claim he got lost in the marshes and sank into quicksand. Either way, he never made it to her. Heartbroken, his spirit supposedly lingers, appearing just before a big storm hits. But here's the kicker. He's not just a creepy ghost story. People say if you see the Gray Man, it's a warning, a chance to get out before disaster strikes. And get this, those who heed his warning often come back to find their homes spared while everything else is in ruins. Now I know what you're thinking. Sounds like a tall tale, right? But this isn't just campfire chatter. There are documented accounts. Take Hurricane Hazel in 1954. Locals reported seeing a man in a gray coat walking the beach days before the storm hit. Those who left said their properties were untouched, while others got hammered. Fast forward to 1989. Hurricane Hugo, same deal. Eyewitnesses spotted him, and the pattern held. Coincidence? Maybe, but it keeps happening. So who or what is the Gray Man? Some think he's a protective spirit tied to the land, looking out for the people of Pawleys Island. Others say he's a restless soul, doomed to replay his final moments whenever a storm rolls in. There's even a theory he's not just a ghost at all, but some kind of time-slip phenomenon, an echo of the past breaking through when the conditions are just right. Whatever he is, he's got a knack for showing up when trouble's brewing. One story that sticks out comes from a couple in the 1990s. They were walking the beach at dusk, saw this guy in a long gray coat staring out at sea. They said he didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there. They figured he was some eccentric local until he vanished right in front of them. 2 days later, a hurricane warning went out. They packed up and left. Sure enough, their house was fine while the neighbors' places took a beating. Spooky, right? Let's dig a little deeper. Pawleys Island has a rich history. Pirates, plantations, shipwrecks. It's the kind of place where the past feels alive. Maybe that's why the Gray Man feels so real here. The island's even got a vibe. Low country charm mixed with this quiet unease. Locals don't mess around when they talk about him. They respect him. Some even leave offerings on the beach. Flowers, shells, hoping he'll keep them safe. All right, Shadow Chasers, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll share some modern sightings and unpack what the Gray Man might mean for us today. Stick around. You won't want to miss this.
Hey, Shadow Chasers, Juniper here. How wild is this Gray Man story so far? A ghostly figure warnings of storms kind of makes you wonder if he's out there right now pacing the beach. Matt's got more coming up, including some recent sightings that'll send shivers down your spine. If you're loving this, please like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and catch us on Apple, Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and all your favorite podcast directories. If you want more creepy content, join our Patreon at patreon.com/shadowfrequency. And if you'd like to advertise with us or suggest an episode, hit us up through Patreon. And now, back to Matt.
Welcome back, Shadow Chasers. Before the break, we were talking about the Gray Man of Pawleys Island. Part ghost, part guardian, all mystery. Now let's fast forward to some modern encounters, because this guy's still making waves. In 2018, right before Hurricane Florence, a photo started circulating online, allegedly of the Gray Man. It's blurry, but you can make out a figure in gray standing on the beach, waves crashing around him. Skeptics say it's just a guy in a raincoat, but locals, they weren't buying it. Florence hit hard, and once again, some who saw the figure or that photo said their homes dodged the worst. Was it him? Hard to say, but it stirred up the legend all over again. Then there's the 2020 Hurricane Isaias. A fisherman out early one morning swore he saw a man in old-timey clothes vanish into the mist. He told his story at a local diner and word spread fast. Sure enough, the storm rolled in and the pattern held. Warnings followed by selective mercy. It's eerie how consistent this is. So what's the deal? Is the Gray Man a benevolent spirit trying to save people? Or is he stuck in some eternal loop tied to the storms that claimed him? I lean toward the protector angle. There's something comforting about the idea of a ghost looking out for us, even if he's a little creepy about it. But I'll let you decide. Drop your thoughts in the comments, or hit us up on Patreon. Before we wrap, let's talk science for a second. Could this be a trick of light, fog, and shadows playing with our minds? Maybe. Coastal areas are prime for optical illusions. Or could it be collective memory folklore so ingrained it shapes what people see? It's possible. But when you stack up the stories, the timing, the outcomes, it's tough to dismiss it all as coincidence. The Gray Man's a reminder that some mysteries don't need solving, they just need to be felt. Next time you're near Pawleys Island, keep an eye on the horizon. You might just catch a glimpse of him, gray coat flapping in the wind, ready to whisper a warning. Until then, stay curious, Shadow Chasers.
And that's all for this episode of The Shadow Frequency. I'm Juniper, your producer, thanking you for joining Matt on this spooky trip to Pawleys Island. The Gray Man's left us with plenty to ponder, guardian or ghost, legend or truth. We'll let you wrestle with that one. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, and all the usual podcast haunts. If you want to support us or suggest a tale, head over to patreon.com/shadowfrequency. Until next time, keep your ears open and your lights low. This is The Shadow Frequency signing off. Stay shadowy, friends.